Good evening, everybody. How you all doing? Hope you're good on this pretty chilly Tuesday evening. Somebody definitely opened the fridge door over the last couple of days. But anyway, at least one great thing is that when winter's here, winter is on its way out at the same time. So summer is around the corner, I hope. Cool. So welcome. So thanks Marlon for hosting us again. And as Marlon said, tonight, I love making things interactive. So there's a couple of things. One is I'm going to answer a question that I was asked by someone the other day, and that is what makes a great salesperson. So we're going to explore that a little bit tonight. And also, I'd like to open it up to some of your questions. What are some of the things that you're struggling with? What are some of the things that you're struggling to get through when it comes to sales, generating income, and possibly just even some of the things around entrepreneurship, building businesses and building great teams. So feel free, type in some questions that you want. I'll do my best to get to those. But let me ask you this: Are salespeople born, or is it a learned skill? Are salespeople born, or is it a learned skill? Can you learn? Can you develop attributes to make you good at sales? So just pretty quickly. Okay, good. Mike says learnt. Who else? Kim, learnt. Karoon, absolutely. Absolutely what? Learnt or born? Okay, Charles says learnt. Good. Learnt. Okay, great. So were you guys on the webinar that I did a couple of weeks ago around sales being a learnt skill? So I'm going to go through a sort of couple of attributes that I believe are necessary for you to become a good salesperson. When I go through these, what I suggest is just write in your answers. Write in what is it that you think you are. So as I ask each one, just mark yourself out of 1 to 10. One being very, very poor, and 10 being very strong at whatever that attribute is. Yeah, Marlon, if you've got a question, fire away.
Yeah, Barry, I think in line with that as well, I think there's also a bit of a misconception or thought that to be a good salesman, and I'm hoping it's going to lead into the questionnaire, is that good salespeople have the gift of the gab.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting, that terminology, the gift of the gab. Meaning that I suppose you have the ability to be able to speak when and how you need to speak, and you can I don't know, some people will call it wax lyrical. You'll be able to you can command any conversation. Well, that's always quite interesting. Those of you that have been around me for a while know I often tell the story of my mate Roscoe, who had a stutter, and honestly, probably one of the best sales guys I've ever met in my life. A couple of reasons: had an incredible work ethic, was incredibly positive. Had an amazing ability to get over that little voice of his speech impediment, and just loved connecting with people, and people loved connecting with him. So yeah, great first question. Thanks, Marlon. So, okay, so a couple of characteristics of great salespeople. When I go through these, mark yourself out of 1 to 10, and please feel free to ask any questions as it pertains to each one. Okay, so number 1, great salespeople have clear, written, set goals. Okay, so just ask yourself this: how clear are my goals? How far ahead am I thinking? And the key word is written. So the key word is, are they written? Are you very clear on those goals? So for the piece of this now, don't worry about posting it in the chat box. Just write yours down, and then we'll do a little bit of a tally at the end, and you can post your tally. But I'm going to encourage you, be brutally honest with yourself. This is your self-assessment. I just say to myself, whenever I do a self-assessment, if I'm not brutally honest, the only person that I'm not honest with is myself. So first attribute: great salespeople have clear written goals. They're very clear on what they want. So as Stephen Covey says, one of the 7 habits of highly effective people: begin with the end in mind. Okay, number 2, great salespeople are highly self-disciplined. So where would you rate your level of self-discipline? 1 being very poor, 10 being very high. In my world, I run through stages where I have an exceptionally high level of self-discipline, and then at times, my self-discipline sucks. And when I observe where my self-discipline sits, what I often see is that there's a correlation between my level of self-discipline and the lag period before the results come to fruition. So remember, most things in sales, in business, have a lag time. So your lack of self-discipline for the next 2 or 3 months will come out. Do me a favor, if you are on unmute, please mute yourself. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, good. So number 2, what level of self-discipline do you operate at? How high is your level of self-discipline? 1 being low, 10 being very high. Number 3, self-motivation. Can you get yourself up, going when you need to get up and go? Great salespeople, some of the best sales guys that I've worked with, that I've trained, that I've managed, that I've worked alongside, are the guys that are sell guys. When I say guys, a generic name for people who are highly self-motivated. Can you kick your own butt into gear? Can you get your own butt moving? So, when you can get your own butt moving, then that's a great start. When you need to do what you need to do, can you get up and do it? Or is procrastination something that gets in the way? So self-motivation. The closer I get to deadlines, the more self-motivated I become. The greater the capacity of my work and my work ethic and my workload is. I don't know about you, but when I'm really focused on doing something, I can develop a very high level of self-motivation. Okay, so number 4, great salespeople have a positive attitude. Out of 1 to 10, where do you sit on the positivity index? Are you positive? Do you think you're positive? If you had to stand up in a court of law and defend your level of positivity, would it stack up with the rating that you've just written down? So what is your level of positivity? Now, I was on a call today with the guy that I'm coaching on sales in Mexico, and Mexico's just had an election, and they got a president in who's a socialist who percentage of the country are not really excited to have him in, especially the entrepreneurs and the capitalists. And we were talking about positive attitude and how under the same facts, in the same situation, our positive attitude comes down to our choice. So do you have a positive attitude? When you get up in the morning, are you positive? When you listen to the radio, to the news, if you do that sort of thing, read the newspaper, do you pull positivity out of it, or do you pull negativity out of it? When you're on Facebook reading some of the stuff that comes through, where does your mindset go? Does it gravitate towards negativity, or does it gravitate towards positivity? Friday night, Saturday afternoon, standing around the braai, watching rugby, talking to your friends. Where does your mindset go? So rate yourself 1 to 10. 1, your positivity index sucks. 10, you're always positive. Okay, good. Number 5, for me, probably one of the most important things is this one. Too many people, I believe, are stuck in what they think they know, and always trying to defend being right, being correct, knowing more than anybody else. As a long-term strategy in sales, I believe that becomes very dangerous. So number 5 is this: great salespeople, great entrepreneurs have a desire to learn more, and sort of insatiable desire to learn. What else can you learn when you're with customers, when you're with people, when you get objections, when you get rejections, when you close deals, when you don't close deals, when whatever it is in the field of selling, in the field of business, in the field of life, do you have a desire to learn and learn more? And I'm not talking about formal education. Here, as those of you that know me know that I'm talking about informal education. I'm talking about day-to-day learning, walking into customers and being able to learn. Every day is a learning day. Every environment is a learning environment. Every situation. Do you have a deep desire to want to learn? And when you do this, when you rate yourself, ask yourself, when last did I read a self-help book? When last did I go to a seminar? You guys will rate yourself fairly highly, because you're the type of people you prepare to get on a webinar at 7:00 in the evening. Many people won't do that, and so where do you rate yourself in terms of having a desire to learn and to learn from life? Okay, good. Number 6, I think if you want a holy grail when it comes to sales, it's probably this one: being able to build good relationships. Great salespeople build good relationships. Great salespeople are connected to the other person. I've worked with some salespeople that are incredibly strong, very good closers, but don't build great long-term business because they battle with relationships. They're stuck in their own sense of importance. They're stuck in themselves. They're stuck in results for now and not for a longer period of time. So how do you rate yourself as a relationship builder? How many relationships do you have? What is your level of relationships? Interesting. I'll tell you something that I found pretty interesting. So my dad passed away about 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago, and after his funeral, I said to my wife, I said, my dad was in the wrong profession. My dad should have been a salesman, and so my dad was a farmer and ran a mining business in Zim, his own mining business for 35 years, and while he loved the outdoors and loved being on the farm, and not derogatory, he did us really well, but he was never really incredibly successful at it. And at his it wasn't even his funeral, it was his memorial service. He passed away in South Africa. We went back to Zim for his memorial service. At his memorial service, nearly 500 people rocked up, and it just struck me that in his whole life he had an amazing ability to build great relationships with people, and it just struck me that he would have been an incredible salesperson. So that was also interesting thought for me is when you think about it, how many people will rock up and really want to rock up to your funeral to come and say goodbye because you cared for them and you've built amazing relationships. So where would you stack yourself up out of 1 to 10 in building relationships? So the next one is linked pretty close to that one. It's great salespeople put the needs of others above their own. Sales often is seen as a very selfish sport, very selfish activity. It's all about me. Some of the greatest salespeople that I've worked with, some of the, observing, the likes of Robert Kiyosaki, some of the Rich Dad Advisors, Blair Singer, highly driven individuals, yes, want to create results for themselves, but are always doing things for the greater good of more than themselves. So it's if the team is benefiting, then it gets done. If it's an individual benefit at the expense of the team, it doesn't get done. So where do you stack up in putting the needs of others above your own, in terms of making sure that when you're doing deals, when you're closing deals, when you're selling, when you're creating something new that is serving a greater number of humans than just yourself? Rate yourself out of 1 to 10. Now, linked closely to self-motivation, positive attitude, and self-discipline is this level of self-confidence. So great salespeople are self-confident. Now, importantly, not arrogant. Too many people, I think, get mixed up with the difference between self-confidence and arrogance. And arrogance is, being arrogant is, I believe, is a very dangerous place to be. And lots of times, exceptionally arrogant people lack humility. And my observation and just my belief is that when people are arrogant people are not dealing with the stuff they should be dealing with. So this arrogant front comes out because they're hiding away from stuff that they should be dealing with. Confident people know they have problems. They know they're like anybody else. And they know that we all have issues and they have issues. And they're prepared to be real about those issues. But they carry themselves with an air of confidence, and linked to that ability to serve others, build great relationships. But they're confident in what they do and how they do it. So don't get mixed up between confidence and arrogance. A lot of people, I think, don't want to be arrogant, so they become this meek, mild little person. You can be big, you can be confident, you can have posture, you can be excited, and people will follow that. But you don't have to be arrogant. You can be humble. Nelson Mandela was a very confident man, but high level of humility. Martin Luther King, very confident man, high level of humility. So what is your level of self-confidence, and what are you doing to work on building up your self-confidence? And some of the tools that you can do to build up your self-confidence is celebrate all wins. Take risks and win. And find the win out of taking risks. Pay gratitude to yourself during every day. How often do you pay gratitude to yourself? So a little tool and technique to build your self-confidence is be grateful for you. Be grateful for who you are. Be grateful for what you prepare to do. Be grateful for the brain you have, the thought you have, the work ethic you have. And have gratitude for the person you are, and that'll build up your level of self-confidence. Number 9, being prepared to serve others first. This philosophy of serving first is a key component to creating long-term relationships, to creating long-term business, and creating long-term sales. So who are you? Who are you serving? Are you prepared to serve first? What is your level of being prepared to serve others? Are you focused on serving yourself, or are you focused on serving others? I think, I don't know if you observe what I do, and not only in South Africa, but I see it all around the world. So many people are stuck in such self-serving. If I look after me first, then I'll look after other people. And building businesses. As long as I get what I need first, then I'll look after my team. As long as I need to get what I need first, then I'll service my customers. Great businesses, great brands that that stand for a long period of time serve others, and they serve others first. In marketing, I believe one of the most powerful tools in marketing and finding customers is this tool of serve first. Go out and give of your time, give of your knowledge for free, and just help others create success, and that success will come back to you. So, to what level are you prepared to serve others first? Okay, good. Number 10. Great salespeople have a high level of self-worth. So they value themselves. As your level of self-confidence increases, so you grow your level of self-worth. But what are you worth? What value do you command? As I don't know, when I look at the names here, Timothy, Dirk, Charles, Karoon, Taku, just to pull a couple of the names of you guys on this webinar. What is your value? How much do you value yourself? Honestly, truly, what is your level of self-worth? Would you invest on you? Would you put you on the stock exchange? What are you worth? And what are you doing to grow that level of self-worth? So that is those are 10 key attributes. I'll give you a few more, but 10 key attributes to kick off around being a great salesperson. So let's see how they stack up. Anyone want to put their results in the chat box, and let's open this up to a little bit of discussion. What did you learn so far from those 10 attributes? What did you get out of those 10 attributes? What was your little voice saying when you had to analyze yourself? And how does it make you feel, being able to weigh up yourself against those 10? Okay, now an important thing here. This is a self-observation. So do not worry what other people rate themselves. So as you're looking at this and you're seeing people rating themselves 70, 80, 60, don't worry about it. It is irrelevant on where somebody else rates them. The only relevance is where you rate yourself and what are you going to do to grow. Okay, good. So well done for Dirk, Mike, and Karoon and Kim. Anyone else? And if you want, open up your mic and give me some comments. What was your little voice saying as you were going through it? What was your little voice saying? What came up? How many of you got a few ahas? Did anyone get an aha? Wow, I didn't think of that. Okay, that would be an important attribute. Or I didn't think of that. That would be something that I need to work on. Okay, Kim, I need to work on my goals and self-discipline. Okay, good. So goals and self-discipline go pretty close together, don't they? Warwick, finger trouble getting started, so I only rated myself on the last 5. Okay, good. Lowest on, excellent. Warwick, well done for being honest. Lowest on confidence and self-worth. So, Warwick, let me ask you this: if you can increase your level of confidence and your level of self-worth by 20% over the next 6 to 12 weeks, what difference do you think that'll do in your life? Okay, so enormous. Okay, great. So that question is when it comes to self-confidence and self-worth, what are you investing in? What are you investing in to be able to change that? Because I just believe the most important investment that you have is the investment in you. And when you invest in you, things change. You know, when I first started 11 years ago in this, my very first client that I got, I charged 3,500 Rand a month. And I used to go visit him 4 hours a week, 4 weeks, 4 times a month. And that was the value that I saw myself at. Today, that's what I charge for an hour's consultation. And yes, I've had over a decade's experience, and I've focused on. I've tried to become a learning machine, if you want it, in terms of the area that I'm in. But one of the most important things that I've worked on is my self-confidence and my self-worth and my self-discipline, is changing my self-concept. You know, so if you remember that results come from behaviors come from mindset comes from conditioning, but between conditioning and mindset is that thing called self-concept. So when you shift your self-concept, and self-concept is self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-value, those type of things. When you shift that, you change. You shift your conditioning, reconditioning. You change your self-concept. When you change your self-concept, you change your value. You know, I'm running about to start a 12-month entrepreneurial development program, and one of the criteria for people that are coming on it is they have to come up with initial amount of 3,000 Rand. Now, 3,000 Rand is not a lot of money, yet the amount of people that can't see themselves being able to make that money and get themselves through that process of, where do I find 3,000 Rand? And that, a lot of that comes down to self-confidence and self-esteem and self-worth. So a key component is growing that level of self-worth. So DeLeon says self-discipline needs work. 100% DeLeon. Self-discipline. Anyway, in my life, my observation of me is self-discipline is a constant job, constant working. I'm constantly trying to work with myself and disciplining myself on becoming more and more disciplined. You know, when I go to the US, I train. I go and exercise with a guy called Mac Newton. DeLeon, you would have heard me talk about Mac Newton. And Mac Newton is Blair Singer's personal trainer. He is 8th Dan Taekwondo master, the highest ranked Taekwondo master, if you want, in North America. He has both championship rings for baseball and NFL as conditioning coach. And his training room is called the House of Discipline. And I love going in there because he drives personal discipline, and it takes a lot of work, and relationship building. So brilliant, Taku. Mr. Few had to attend to a client, so I can't give a score. 100%, you'll get. I'll get Marlon to send out the 10 if you can. Okay, good. Margaret, challenge our written goals, self-discipline, and desire to learn, putting others before ourselves and serving others. Well done, Margaret. Very good. You know, I'm really excited that you and your mum are sitting on this call, because at your age, as a teenager, you know, I wish I'd have really taken some of these things flipping seriously. But well done. And it's too easy. And we're in this world, and especially at school, we're taught that it's all about us. You know, we've got to do everything. We get rewarded for being right, for being the one, and the desire to learn. So, Margaret, learning at school is important, but what I'm talking about is I'm talking about learning from life, learning from business, learning the things that they won't teach you at school, reading the books that probably won't get you to read at school. So well done for that. So, Warwick, as I battle with my sales challenges, I look for positive influences. 100%, Warwick. Hang around with people who are positive, and that'll influence your positivity. Okay, so very good. do me a favor. If you are not on mute, please go on mute unless you want to ask a question. Okay, great. You guys getting value out of this so far? You're getting a couple of ahas, learning a few things. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes or no. No, if you're not, tell me no. Great, thank you. Mike, helping others has to be carried out with caution in order to not jeopardize myself. Very good. Yeah, those of you that have been on this call would have heard me talk about Mike, my mate from Zim. Mike is one of these guys I term as a nice guy. Mike will drop things for other people just to help, and often you've got to be careful. So when I talk about serving others, you've got to serve others, but you need to be careful that other people are not abusing your service. Okay, so you got to know when you're serving others, you got to know when you're making a difference. But there's got to be exchange. So the principle of exchange is essential in every relationship. You see, otherwise what happens there, Mike, is what you're talking about is you go and you'll jeopardize yourself and you'll get out of exchange. So you have to be careful. At all times you have to stay in exchange. You got to make sure that when you're serving, there's something coming back to you. And it will if you do it in the right way. So be careful. Sometimes, and you would have heard me talk about this, difference between being nice and kind. So make sure in everything that you do, you are always in exchange. Okay, good. So let me give you a few more. So number 11, this for me is key. I watch people come into sales, come into business, and they struggle with people pretty simply because they don't like people. For me, I love people. I love people. Now, yes, there's certain people that you're born with the trait to just get on and love people, but it's a learned skill. I tell you a story about one of my very first clients. I coached. He's the CEO of a business in Joburg. Coached him and his senior management and sales team for about 7 years. Used to go in there every week for pretty much nonstop for 7 years. And when I first started working with him, he didn't like people. And funny enough, the return people didn't like him. But he didn't not like people because he just the reason he didn't like people is he had a lack of self-confidence. He just didn't think that he communicated well with people. Well, he didn't communicate well with people. That was pretty sure. But his little voice told him that he didn't communicate. So when he did deal with people, it's very short and abrupt with them. And he used to get irritated. And, when I first started working with him, he says, but I just don't like people. And I know people don't like me, but they must just do what I want them to do. And I got him to do something very simple, but not easy when your little voice tells you that you have a problem with people. I got him to park in his parking every morning, but before he walked up to his office, he used to arrive, walk up to his office, lock himself in his office and work there for the day and call whoever he needed. Pretty simply, what I got him to do is the very first call, I made him walk every single morning, walk through his factory, greeting everyone and saying hello. Today, he is a totally different person when it comes to people. He connects with people. He loves being out with people. You can learn it. So much of what we believe we have around people is a conditioned response. We're designed to be around people. So do me a favor. I'll just ask again, if you're not on mute, please mute yourself. If you just check, someone's not on mute. Thanks. Great, thank you. So what are those? Learn to love people. If you need, say an affirmation every single morning. I love people. I connect with people. I love meeting people. People are connected to me. People love meeting me. You know, say it to yourself every single day, and you'll start shifting your little voice and your mindset around people. You know, honestly, I believe that I have the greatest job in the world because I get to meet new people all the time. I just and I always saying I love people. I love people. I love being around people. I love working with people. I even love people that don't love me. I love people that give me crap. I love people that disagree with me. I love people that you know. I was listening to a webinar earlier, and there's this term, I don't know, haters. You know, I've heard this a couple of times. I don't know if I really agree with this thing, haters, because yes, people that don't like what I do, don't like me, that's okay. And that's cool, because where there's people that don't like me, and I know there's people that will like me, and that's great. Why? Because, Mahodla, would you do me a favor, buddy? Please will you put on mute if you can? I think it's yours. I think it's yours or Andy's. Andy, you guys will just check. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So just, you know, you everything in life operates in duality. So where there's people who like you, there will be people who won't like you, and that's okay. I'm always asking, what am I learning from this? What am I learning from people who don't like me? What am I learning from the people that don't agree with what I say? Because it doesn't mean it's right. It just means it is what it is. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean they're right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong or they're wrong. And you know, so can you love people? Can you just love people and love being around people and meet people where they're at and understand, you know, that saying, people are people, and people think the way they think because that's who they are. That's where they come from. And sometimes you just got to love them for where they're at, you know, and the way they think. We might not agree with them. We might not like it, but it is. And what can we do to help them move on and grow and create a difference? So to be a good salesman, be a good salesperson, I believe actually to be a good entrepreneur, you need to love people. You want to build a team, you got to love people. You want to have customers, you got to love people. And you want people to love you, you need to love them. That's where it starts. So where do you rate yourself out of loving people? Okay, number 12. Great salespeople rise to a challenge. Okay, can you rise to a challenge when things are getting tough? When it's heating up, can you rise up and take up the challenge? You know, I was on every Monday evening, I do a webinar with our group of Blair Singer certified trainers in South Africa. And last night we were talking about getting out of the comfort zone. And getting out of the comfort zone is about rising up to a challenge. And I made a comment right at the end. I went, you know, me personally, that's the piece I love. I love it when the heat gets turned up. I love it when there's a challenge on the go. Because that's when I know magic happens. Are you prepared to create the magic? Can you create the magic? Can you rise up to that challenge? So when it comes to challenges, do you wimp out or do you rise up? Do you back out or do you step up? You step up to the plate. Are you ready to bat? Do you walk out? What do you do? Or do you overanalyze? Do you find another way? You know, well, you know, what do you do? Can you rise to a challenge? And great salespeople rise up to a challenge. Number 13. I love this one. I love to win. Great salespeople love to win. They play to win. They want to win. They get out to win. And so, do you love to win? You know, I just the feeling of winning is for me. I love. Now, I will not win at all costs. I will not win by beating up other people. I will not win legally, illegally, unethically, or immorally. But I always play to win. I've learned that in order to win, you've got to be prepared to lose. And when you lose, you can learn. So at the end of the day, you win. but are you playing to win, and do you love to win? You know, I still play hockey every weekend at my age, which I love, and I just love playing to win and competing. You know, to the extent that sometimes it is to my detriment. So, I'll give you an example. Over the course of the last weekend, I was playing hockey. I play Masters hockey, playing on Saturday morning, and we had to win the game in order to really give us a chance of qualifying for finals. And in the first half, I got smashed on my foot. So 5 minutes to go in the first half, I had to walk off. Came back at half time, shoved my boot on. I was in a fair amount of pain, but this little voice of mine was going, stuff that, I'm not going off. We got a game to win. And as it turned out, ended up breaking one of the bones in my foot. But my drive to win. So I don't know about you. Are you prepared to win? Do you want to be in the game? Do you want to be on the field way more than you want to be off the field? You know, so just love winning. Where do you stack up when it comes to winning? You know, I love the All Blacks as a rugby team, because I just believe that they've built a habit and a culture of winning. And so, can you build a culture of winning? Are you a winner? Do you want to win? Do you play to win all the time? And when you win, do you love it? Do you celebrate it? Do you get excited about it? And do you get excited about other people winning as well? You know, and that's a key component. Is the part of winning is getting excited for other people. You know, learning to love watching other people win. So where do you stack up 1 to 10 on that one? Number 14. When I lose, I ask, or when great salespeople lose, they ask, what did I learn? What did I learn so that I can win? What did I learn? That is powerful. Are you asking, what did you learn? Or are you making excuses, blaming, doing all those type of things that are not adding value to your life? You know, are you justifying, denying? Or are you just taking responsibility for the loss and asking yourself that key question in growth in life? What did I learn? What did I learn out of that loss? You know, so this weekend, getting my foot in the way of that flipping ball. What did I learn? Get your foot out of the way. You know, pretty simple, stupid learning, but man. So what did I learn? What are you learning? Can you learn? Are you becoming a learning machine? Number 15, accepting rejection accepting rejection with a positive attitude. When you get rejected, when you get turned down, can you accept it with the positive attitude? Move on. Ask yourself, but accept it. Boom, move on. Next, where do I go? Or do you get stuck back into that other thing that I talked about just now? Lack of responsibility, justification, denial, laying blame, all those type of things. The negative below the line operation. Or do you play above the line? Take responsibility, accept it, move on. So those are 15 key attributes to a great salesperson. I have another 20 that I'll share with you in one of the webinars coming up. So questions, comments, where do you rate yourselves so far? Where do you rate yourself in the next 5, and what's your total score? If you just quickly post it, put it in, let us see. What do you need to work on? And then what are your aha? What ahas have you got so far tonight? What are the light bulb moments? Where do you stack up? Who is going to rise to the challenge and put it in first? Excellent. 29 out of 50 on the next 5. Well done, Warwick. You're good. 37, 40, 17. 34. Good. Well done. Okay, Delian, work on rejection and love for people. Yeah. Very powerful. Great aha. You know, rejections, I have this. Rejection's never personal. It's just, it is what it is. They have their reasons. I'll find out their reasons. You know, everyone's going to buy at some stage, just when. So I just don't want to take rejection personally. I don't want to take it with a negative attitude, because it just closes the door on me. Okay, Mike, I now realize that my drive to win is low due to be nice to others. Yeah, Mike, I might have been able to tell you that. So when I go to Zim, Mike and I play squash against each other all the time, and I keep pulling his leg about whipping his butt on the squash court. But he's just got it. Look, how many of you are so nice that your drive to win is low because you think you're doing one over on other people, you know. So when I play Mike, for example, I want to win. I have a desire to win. I'm not going to do it at all costs over him, but it's just that drive. And when I lose, hey, what did I learn? So Karun, I do know that the fear of rejection holds me back. Yeah, how many of you right now, if I ask that, put up your hand, boom, would be able to agree with that? The fear of rejection holds you back. I don't try if I think I'm expecting rejection. Okay, rejection's never what we think it is, Karun. And often we get objections in sales mixed up with rejection. Objection and rejection are two different things. No is not a rejection. No is just a reason that somebody can't see value in what you have right now. That's all it is. Rejection. I'll tell you what rejection is. Rejection is, for example, in sales, rejection is having a security guard on either arm marching you out of the building because you got in there without the right permissions. Okay, that's rejection. Two different things. And one of the things I've learned is things like rejection, you can tell great stories from them. So everything has a positive. So yes, the fear of rejection holds you back. You know, in the Sales Explosion program, the one thing you will learn is you will learn how to get through rejection. You'll learn how to handle objections and push through that process. So the fear of rejection. Warwick, so again, not responding properly to rejection. Abdallah, his aha, I love to win, but I never celebrate. Celebrate. How many of you have been watching the soccer? Now, I'm not a big soccer fan. Those of you that know me well know that I don't care much for soccer. But man, I love watching the goals because I just love watching the celebration. You know, it's that celebration of winning. And how often do you see that one goal gets scored, that team celebrates, there's a shift in energy, boom, and they score again. They win. They want to win. You know, last night I watched a little bit of that Brazil-Mexico game. Damn, I felt sorry for Mexico. But Brazil just had a higher level of self-confidence, self-worth, and they were in the game. They played. They wanted to win. They had that deep desire to want to win. So, Russia is pretty interesting. Playing in front of their home crowd. How bad do you think that desires to win? And the more they're winning, the more the celebration is continuing. The bigger their level of energy, the greater their level of self-confidence and self-worth is becoming. And that's what builds champions. So love to win, but celebrate. You know, when you celebrate, you anchor the win. When you anchor the win, you can go back to it and pull on it and use that energy whenever you want. You know, success and anchoring success, one of the most powerful tonics, energy tonics that you can get. So Abdallah, celebrate the win. Love to win, celebrate the win. Kim, fear of rejection. Marlon, had an aha around asking questions. When I choose the right energy, I can ask myself better questions. 100%. You know, choose the energy, and because Marlon, if you're going to ask yourself questions and you're in a losing fear, and those are losing questions. Well, why did I think I lost? Well, couldn't you have done it better? You know, it's like, boom, the energy is going down. The answers are going to go down. the results are going to go down. You just ask yourself the question, dude, why did I get rejected? Oh, well, that was interesting. Okay, so maybe it was because I climbed over the turnstiles without asking for permission. Oh, well, what did I learn? Yeah, so what is, how you ask those questions? What's the energy that you ask yourself the questions in order to debrief that process? So any other questions or comments on those 15 attributes to be good at sales? Good entrepreneur, good leader. Because great salespeople are great leaders are great salespeople. So they run hand in hand. Great entrepreneurs need to lead teams, lead ideas, lead change, lead vision, lead mission. So whatever it is, what is your score? You now have a baseline to work from. Next couple of webinars, I'll share the other 20 with you. But now you have a baseline, and whatever that baseline is, now you can go back and say, what do I need to work on? What can I get better at? And I would just suggest, don't try and work on all of them. Pick one or two and just work on those. Work on those, and once you start getting those ratings up, they'll affect the other ones, and then you work on something else. You're good. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, now I'm just going to do a quick little bit of, if you want, open line, a couple of questions before we wrap it up. Your questions, anything I can answer, help you with this week, anything you encountered this week, this month, that you want to put here and see if you can get some help on. No questions? Have you guys got value out of tonight? Okay, good. Warwick, how to get the first buyer of a new product service over the line? Okay, excellent. So Warwick, what could you write? How are you closing? What are you doing to close the first deal? My answer is pretty simple. It's all in the numbers. The more numbers you get, the more people you're speaking to, the more you're practicing and debriefing the results you're getting, the quicker you'll get to get the first buyer. So you've got to start off and give yourself the best opportunity for success to set up the right environment so you're clear on your target market. So make sure that your avatar is right. Don't wait until you get the avatar perfect. Rather get out and take action. Where to find the first buyers? For me, I always start with low-hanging fruit. I always start with people that know me, people that trust me, people that have been in my world before. If I have a new product or service, and I start with them because the people that I have confidence with. They're the people that have confidence with me. So if you got a new product or service, just start off with the people that trust you. Start off with the people that you know, and be brutally honest with them. Look, hey Marlon, I'm launching this new product. This is what it is. Is it something you'd be interested in? Would you be prepared to support me and try it? The worst thing they can say is no. And you can, because you know them, you can ask them, okay, if you don't mind me asking, to help me get better, why would you say no? Why are you not interested in? And go from there. Does that help, Warwick? That's the beauty of sales, is you're out on the hunt. It's like, it's a hunting game. You're looking for that first customer. Man, that's exciting. Just get your mind into, if you can, get your little voice into that closing the first one is the excitement. Man, what do we have to do? What are the lessons we're going to learn in the doing of closing that? Get that energy up, and just get out and speak to people. speak to people, connect with them, get in their world, make it all about them, and you'll close that deal before you even know it. Okay, good. Any other questions or comments? So, guys, Friday morning, those of you that are interested, I'm hosting another free Sales Explosion preview at Centurion Lake Hotel. It's from 9 until 12:30. So, come along. I'm just going to ask Maury or Marlon just to pop there we go. Thank you, Maury. Friday the 6th of July, Centurion Lake Hotel, from 9 until 12:30. Come along for Sales and Leadership Mastery preview. It's 3 hours of free training. And come and join us, and we'll take you through and give you an introduction to the Sales and Leadership Mastery program. But what I can assure you is that you'll get 2.5 to 3 hours of training. And if you're enjoying being on these webinars and you're getting value out of the 45 minutes that we're spending on a Tuesday night, I think you'll get a lot of value on what we do in that room. So Warwick, what Marlon will do is he'll send out the list of 15 tools and techniques, and you'll get that or access to that. Okay, cool. So Jeanette, registering for the game session on Saturday. Jeanette, that should be up and open. Do you want to try again? If not, just give Mari send her an email, and she'll help you on that. Those of you that are interested in that, on Saturday morning we have a program called Play the Money Game, really, which is an introduction to a program that I've been very blessed to work with Robert Kiyosaki on, called Awaken Your Financial Genius. So, those of you that are interested in that, come along on Saturday as well. It's 150 Rand per person. And at that program, I'll also share with you on what you can do to get in a very exclusive room at the end of August with Robert Kiyosaki. So, Robert's coming out to speak at the Success Resources Summit in August, 28th and 29th. And I've been very blessed to have Robert agree to do an exclusive event for me, for some people in my community, people that are part of the Awaken Your Financial Genius program. He's agreed to do a program that'll be about 6 hours, exclusively for a very small group, maybe 60 to 70 people. So if you want to know how to do that, then come along to the event on Saturday the 7th of July, Nickel Hotel, Bedford View. So thank you, Marlon. Thank you, everyone, for joining me and the Uncovering Greatness team again tonight. Hopefully we'll see you Friday, or we'll see you Saturday, or we'll see you both, and we will maybe see you next Tuesday. I'll be in the US next Tuesday at the Rich Dad offices with Robert Kiyosaki. So I travel on Saturday evening for that. So really excited. So maybe if the time is right, I'll be able to do a webinar out of the Rich Dad offices. Who knows? We'll have to see, time and timing. But hopefully see you guys Friday and Saturday and next week. Be awesome. Marlon, back to you. Thanks very much, buddy.
Thank you, Barry. So this concludes our webinar for this evening. Be on the lookout for the replay. And as well, what I think we'll do is we'll try and add the questions in that Barry had given us this evening onto that same web page. So if you did come in a bit late into the webinar and missed out on the earlier questions, those all will be available for you to fill out, and I'll try and see if we can actually make it a bit more interactive in terms of how you fill it out. So not just like something you download and something that you can actually fill in there on the spot. But no promises there. Have a good evening. We are going to be moving on to the next webinar. So if you do want to join us on that, it is the same meeting ID. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and have a good evening.